Visceral fat.
Visceral fat.
Yeah.
Be visceral fat. Okay. So just kind of give me your honest opinions about basically the first half of this season. First 4 matches. How you guys feeling so far?
Do you know what an artist and a sniper have in common? But by the time I'm done, that number goes down to 0. Hang in there. I got you, man. Just let me know when grenades start flying. Okay, guys, time to go. Device is going down.
Coming off 2 big wins, having 2 big losses.
I mean, first off, the overarching thing about most of our losses is that we have just been inconsistent. TSM was more of, I think, siege execution, and then SSG was just we didn't show up mentally.
We had like the best practice I think we ever had. And like it felt like the team was like just nasty and on point, and then we scrimmed them earlier that season, and we smoked them one day. Even like Troy and Bosco were talking about on like the podcast thing they did, and they felt like that was like the most pressure they ever felt against a team ever. But then come match day, it felt like there was literally no pressure on them. Like we weren't doing anything, we weren't moving.
Me and Alex personally took it pretty hard on both of ourselves, just because we felt like we definitely could have stepped up in that game and kind of like changed some things that we kind of didn't. It just kind of felt like we were just getting rolled over. We were just kind of taking it.
I firmly believe that like our best siege is like championship level world class siege. I don't see many teams that can even rival us. However, our lows are also fairly low, and so there's times in seasons or at majors where we look unbeatable, and then like the next game or the next week we'll just flop.
Just something wasn't working, just as far as like talking more, getting the guys to talk more. You know, it just felt like we were just playing a scrim almost, and like just things weren't going away, and we're just like, all right, next round, see if it goes our way. Next round, see if it goes our way.
TSM, it felt like we were winning most of the rounds, but the same thing that always happens against those guys, we always lose like the last 20 seconds because they just explode out of nowhere.
Basically on paper, our roles on defense should be working, but they're not.
You know, our attacking rolls feel good. Like, I think we have one of the best attacking stats, you know, the first split. And I think we're definitely, usually, when we show up, you know, feared on attack. But defensively, there's something to it that we just haven't figured out since the formation of the roster. I think we have a lot of flex players, and it was like a good idea. And it still is a good idea, but it's like we just haven't been able to put it together. We're just like too flexible for our own good, where we need people to like specialize and buckle down on some roles that we need.
We were really just trying to figure out the communication structure on defense, the playmaking, what we want it to look like, the pacing, what we want it to look like. We've had some issues where site players were maybe a little bit too passive, and roaming was a little too aggressive, or they just weren't in sync. And so now we're hoping that this complete shuffle will help centralize our play a little bit and bring it a little bit more together. We've been playing with roles for a long time, and we're getting closer, but we still have to experiment. We've had a lot of holes in communication as well, kind of like whether it's like related to reads or team play, just some issues with communication to where the picture of what's going on in the round isn't completely clear, and therefore like Kyle or Alex can't call properly off of it. Like maybe there's a good time to have rotated, but the information wasn't like delivered, so we weren't able to make the proper call.
Those losses kind of like were just like things that we're just gonna like get hit and just, you know, get run over. Like we're gonna obviously we talked for a long time, try to work all our issues out. There's no hiding from it in a team house, and you know, a long days of just like talking about work and everything. Like I think it's like really good that we just kind of relax more at night and act like, you know, friends and humans.
Especially here, because we kind of like practice basically all day, 12 to 7. So it's nice to hang out with your teammates outside of just playing Siege, like being teammates. So, you know, having fun on something else I think is like important. Doing stuff outside of just playing the game is important.
Maybe like old rosters, you know, yeah, some people would like kind of walk away, but if anything, I think the loss has kind of like brought this particular team kind of more together. It also happened to be, you know, the week Halo released, which is a pretty good thing. So an easy game that we can all play together.
We're addressing a lot of different factors of the team to deal with consistency. But our approach to Siege, I believe, is spot on. We just have to iron out these problems so we can actually compete at a top level for most of the time.
Awesome.